Hey, welcome to another edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Brandon Gomez, and we have some big stories we got to get to, including the fact that Jamaica is making an historic move. They are now demanding billions of pounds from Britain over slavery. I'm talking about reparations here, folks. We're going to dive right into it. Also, the World Health Organization, they are a mess after they made controversial comments yesterday about mixing COVID-19 vaccines. We'll clear it all up. Trust me, we brought the mop. And Cuba's largest anti-government protest in decades is occurring right now. And we also have some good news, including the fact that Black-owned Toronto just opened their first ever retail store. We'll tell you which mall in just a few seconds, but first, the homework. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and follow us on all of the social media. Jamaica! Yeah. I'm biased. I can say it.
Book my flight, okay.
Book your flight. No, but the reality is this. Jamaica is now in the process of demanding reparations from Britain over slavery. This is huge for the small but very powerful island, okay? So let's talk about it, because the petition, it's in the petition stage right now, is based on a private motion by a Jamaican lawmaker. His name is Mike Henry. And basically, Jamaica is going to be looking for billions of pounds in worth of reparations. And this is interesting, right, Eva? Because back in the day, when Britain abolished the slave trade, you know what they actually did? Rather than paying people who were enslaved, they paid the slave owners.
They compensated the slave owners, and they took out 20 million pounds to compensate for them.
And when we talk about 20 million pounds, that's in $1,800 figures.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, in today's terms, we're talking about 7.6 billion pounds. That's massive.
That happened. We were like, that was okay.
And you want to hear an interesting fact? Britain finally paid off interest on that loan that they paid to slave owners in 2015. That was just 6 years ago. So they had the money for that. I'm sure they have the money for this. Okay? I also want to say this, that it is estimated that nearly 600,000 enslaved Africans were shipped to Jamaica during the height of the slave trade to work on plantations of sugarcane, bananas, and other crops that created just fortunes for many of these slave owners. So we'll see what happens here. Let us know what you think about this. Do you want to see Jamaica win here? And if Jamaica does win, will other islands and other former colonies follow suit? Drop your thoughts in the comment section right now. Okay, the World Health Organization, can I just say they're a mess?
Everything's a mess.
They need a PR team. No, seriously, they need a PR team. So listen to this. Yesterday, they came out and said some very controversial statements. Reports started, and what we heard, was reported, was that the World Health Organization was advising people, the chief scientist was advising people not to mix and match different COVID-19 vaccines made from different manufacturers.
After what? After Canada and several other countries have already been doing it?
She called it a dangerous trend.
She's like, there's no statistics to back it up. Okay, then what are we doing?
Yeah, and so obviously in this country, in Canada, huge uproar. The Prime Minister has done this, right?
I know several people have done this. I'm sure you do too.
Exactly. So then today, this chief scientist, Swaminathan, later clarified her remarks on Twitter. And Eva, what did she say?
She was saying that basically don't take my word, check with your provincial or whatever and check what they're saying.
Your local health unit.
Yes, exactly.
So basically what they're saying is that they weren't advising countries not to do this. They're advising individuals not to do this.
What does that mean? Who am I supposed to listen to?
At the end of the day, all I know is that this is creating a lot of confusion for people who are just looking for clarity in a time where there has been so much unclarity. How do you guys feel? The World Health Organization and just countries in general have handled this vaccine rollout. Let us know in the comment section right now. Okay, we got to talk about what's happening in Cuba, because they are seeing the largest ever anti-government protest in decades. We're talking thousands of people in the streets in Cuba protesting over economic instability and shortages of food, vaccines, and just power in general. Many people are calling this a Cuban genocide, as Cubans are dying and the Cuban government, listen to this, refuses to accept medical aid from international organizations. This also comes as Cuba, as we know, is facing one of the worst economic crises in their history. So what's really interesting right now is that This is what a lot of outlets are reporting, but there's a lot of deeper context here that we should talk about, right, Eva?
Yeah, so I went deeper into this to figure out, why and all of this is happening. So a lot of people are talking about the United States President, Joe Biden, talking about how we support the Cuban people in finding freedom. But then you're like, okay, freedom from us, why is this economic crisis happening? It's because there is an American embargo on Cuba. And that means that when companies and businesses want to sell something, they either have to sell it in Cuba or US. US won't take any company that sells in Cuba, which means Cuba basically doesn't have that many businesses, so they rely on travel. And we are going through a pandemic where travel isn't happening. So economically, they are suffering big time.
Yeah.
So for America to be like, we support you, okay, release this embargo, let us, go through all of that economic stability.
Yeah.
And what's happening a lot is that we're not able to see what's going on down there because the government has shut down social media.
And that's another big problem. That's a huge problem.
That's a huge problem. They don't want information coming in and coming out, so we don't really know what's going on in there.
Well, we'll have to continue following this story. Hey, let us know how you're feeling about this story, by the way, in the comment section right now. Can we talk about some good news? So Toronto just opened its doors to its first ever, I'm so excited, retail store that is full of products created by Black-owned businesses. You may have heard about this business before. It's called Black-owned Toronto. And again, all of their products in their store are from Black-owned businesses. They originally began using an Instagram account. It got so popular that its founder and CEO, Karen John, was looking for a better way to support these Black-owned businesses. So she decided to open a retail store in Scarborough Town Center located in East Toronto. This is the first of its kind.
I'm surprised it's the first.
I'm hearing there were lineups to get in.
Yeah, there was, and it's quickly, and now they're like not taking vendors because there's such a huge list of people. I'm happy. I think we should need a lot more of these around the GTA as well.
I love to see it. Go get your check, people. Get your check. And that's pretty much it. That's it for News You Can Use. A reminder, if you have any news stories, send them in, news@brandygonashow.com. We drop News You Can Use every Tuesday and Friday. And if you haven't watched the latest episode of The BG Show, go check that out right now. We talk about transracial identity. Can you actually change your race? Go watch it. In the meantime, we'll see you on Friday.
Bye.